tonight's title. Professor James Small responds to Tariq Nasheed in the FBA. I know you've been seeing the foolery happening online all week long, and everybody's making a bunch of videos about, Professor James Small and Tariq and an FBA, and there's been a lot of mudslinging, a lot of virtual mudslinging. And we're here tonight to put that stuff to rest and to have an intellectual and respectful discourse about the situation that transpired. And so I reached out to Professor James Small and asked him would he be willing to do it. And shout out to Brother Ankh. Brother Ankh also reached out and he said, yeah, I will come on, and have, a respectful and intellectual discourse about what has transpired. But before we do, family, make sure that you head on over to UACIStemcamp.com on December the 5th. Let me make sure. Hold on, y'all. Let me look at my calendar. On December the 5th, registration will be closed, okay, for our UACI winter cycle. For those of you who don't know what the UACI STEM Camp is, it's a virtual, 100% virtual STEM camp that was created to inspire more Black participation in science, technology, engineering, art, agriculture, and mathematics. It is powered by Morgan State University, the CAP Center, which specializes in cybersecurity research, and also the Seamless Center, which focuses on AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning research. And so, family, this is the website that you're looking at. All right. You see, our babies are learning how to code, and that's what they're doing right here. They're learning how to code with the microbit. And we focus on, they learn how to code with the microbit. We also focus on Black STEM history, where our children are exposed to our contributions, our achievements in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. You're looking at our 2024 UACI Winter STEM graduates. We have to post the 2025 UACI Summer STEM graduates. And so we're working on doing that right now. If you come on over to the website, you'll learn more about our instructors. And as you can see, all of our instructors are qualified and Black. Ashe. And then lastly, if you go down to the bottom, you'll see, you can click on this video to listen to what parents had to say about this camp, family. All right. And so anyway, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Head on over to UACI, okay, UACIStemcamp.com. Click on the register now button and register your child before Friday. All right, make sure you register your child before Friday. And then also, family, make sure that you head on over here to meltrek365.com. Right now, a lot of our history is being erased. But guess what, family? It's not their responsibility to preserve and teach our history. It is our responsibility to preserve and teach our history. All right. And so you can do that by coming over here and grabbing Meltrek. Mel is short for melanin. Trek means journey. So we're taking you on a journey to learn about the achievements of melanated people. So if you scroll down to films and you click on any one of these films, you can download the digital downloads. Okay. And so this project was inspired to teach our children our history from our perspective. And so I'm going to drop the link in the chat, family. So make sure that you click on these links and download these films. All right. So now that I got the announcement out, and shout out to my audience family in the building. Some of you I haven't seen in a while, but you all are piling up because it's drama, right? So as soon as you see drama, everything, boop, 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 boop. Everybody want to come for the drama, but don't really come for the information, right? But we pull up when it's drama. But tonight, if you think you're going to find drama on this channel, that's not what's getting ready to happen. Again, we're getting ready to have an intellectual and respectful discussion about what has transpired. Okay, and I'm saying this now, family. Anybody who's disrespectful to, Professor James Small, Brother Ankh, Dr. Asar, myself, we will block you. Moderators, please block. And I don't, I don't care if people want to express themselves or people have an opinion that is, opposite of mine. That's fine. But it's a way that we're going to do things tonight. Okay. And we want to be respectful and we want to be intellectual. So I'm bringing on my co-host right there, Brother Ankh. What it do, Brother Ankh?
What it do? What's going on, sis? You know what it is, man. It's time to break out the whipping stick. You know what it is. Some clarity. And, man, shout out to all the work that's being done in the community. Shout out to your channel. Appreciate your work.
Appreciate yours.
Conscious ingenuity. Shout out to the pseudo killers in the community, Skeptics, man. Shout out, man. We're going to have a great powerful bill.
Ashe. So I got to bring on Dr. Winkler. Peace and love to you, Dr. Winkler. How you doing, brother?
Peace and power, Dr. Mayat. Thanks for having me on. Brother Ankh, thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure being with two great minds.
Likewise, it's always a pleasure to have you. And without further ado, I'm going to bring on our esteemed elder, scholar, warrior, and well-respected over here, Professor James Small. Peace and love to you, Professor Small. How are you?
I'm fine, sister and brothers. An African universal world.
Beautiful.
I don't know what else to say.
Professor said, "I'll
my grandchildren from the bus stop, coming back from down south, dropped them in their house and ran over here. But it's always an honor speaking to our people.
Beautiful, always, and it's always an honor, Professor, to hear you speak, and that's why I was very I was very saddened by the stuff that I saw online. And I want to start right here, Professor, with this, because I really want us to, you to provide some context to the stuff that we're seeing. There was a video, you were interviewed on a podcaster's platform, and a clip of you was taken, and then the headline became, Tariq Nasheed is a CIA agent, and FBA equals CIA operation. Could you please tell us what was going on, Professor James Small, on that platform, and what you were trying to convey that people did not get when they watched the video?
Yeah, and that's why I put the video back up. I hope that people who are going off watch the whole video. I put it on Facebook a couple of times. Watch the video. Mm-hmm. There was one segment, really about 2 sentences or 3 sentences, where I'm saying the government of the United States, and this is a fact, and its foreign policy as regards African Americans and African continental should never be allowed to unite economically, politically, and culturally. That is the policy towards Africa of the United States of America. The big new Brzezinski under Jimmy Carter put it in writing. There was this other piece called Something 2000. They put it in writing a few years before that. Henry Kissinger put it in practice for almost 2 decades. And so my point was, I grew up in the 60s. I watched Fred Hampton killed 2 weeks after he was here with us in New York by somebody who walked at his side as a friend, comrade, and security specialist, all right, who was one of us that was a collaborator with the enemy. I saw Malcolm X. I didn't see Malcolm. I was overseas when Malcolm X got killed. Malcolm, as smart as he was, did not see Gene Roberts, did not see Ray Jones, the CIA man. That's one in the black suit standing over his body. Ray Jones is the cop from NYPD boss, nor the one Matthews or whatever his name who gave a deathbed confession. He had 5 or 6 on his security duty. He didn't see them. So the point I was making, when we behave in a way where we are creating division between African peoples anywhere in the world, we are playing in the hands of the U.S. State Department and Justice Department, because the one thing they do not want to see is the most powerful African ethnic group in the world, the African Americans, if one want to say all the different terms we use to describe ourselves, foundational Black Americans. However, I used to call it formerly enslaved Africans in America. They do not want to see that group find union with the wealthiest piece of real estate on the planet Earth that's inhabited by Black people whose median age is 19 years old, okay? It's the biggest continent in the world. We can fit North America, Europe, Russia, China, and Africa, and we still got space. And so the unity of those 2 groups caused the death of many of our leaders. We saw it all the way back to Garvey. Garvey's group was infiltrated by the American government by a Black man, all right? And because other Black people in the organization had issues with Garvey, they were able to cause that divide and end up putting Garvey in jail for one envelope with a stamp on it where they charged him with fraud and caused the collapse of that movement in this country. You can go all through our history and see it. So I was just trying to make that point, that those who foster and this division between those from the continent, the Caribbean, and those from the United States are playing in the hands of the U.S. government.
Okay,
now, that's wrong. If anybody can see that as a negative, I don't understand.
You don't understand?
Negative.
So Professor James Small, at any point did you say
no?
Tariq Nasheed is an
I
FBA?
just talked to Sincere, the brother, a little while ago, because I'm gonna go on his show. I said something, but I might just do that. And I asked him, who made that banner? Who put up that tag that say Professor Small says FBA is CIA? I never said no such thing. Okay. Matter of fact, in one of the notes, because I went over the speech a few times, I said that our brother is not the CIA. Okay. Just the opposite of what they said. Trying to explain that, if people didn't get it, that we get infiltrated by our enemy, and if we behave in a way that is in line with what they want to see happen to us in terms of divide and conquer, then they will take advantage. Now, I don't know how many ways you can say that, and people don't get that. The rest of the speech was about telling the continental African brothers, y'all need to understand why FBA is pissed off with you. And I tried to break that down, right? Because of their behavior. And no one has criticized brothers and sisters from the continent the way I have.
And we're going to get
off the street and kick their asses some more for certain behavior. I mean, and that's been all over the internet.
Yeah. We're going to get to that, Professor. But so we had that ruled out. So once that happened, so okay, you never said that FBA, and that was the thumbnail. I don't even want to say his name, but the gentleman that you just mentioned, his platform, that was the thumbnail that he created and put up that said FBA equals CIA operation.
Let me be clear to the brothers and sisters who are FBA, because my intent is not to hurt your spirits, because I am you. Long before you were saying FBA, even before Claude Anderson coined the term, I was coining the same concept, calling it formerly enslaved Africans in America, for the same reason you're doing it, trying to find an identity for ourselves that was distinct and separate from others. And then I would lay it out, listen to my speeches, and not some little clips other people are preaking off and playing. My thing was, if a Yoruba can be Yoruba, and also be Nigerian, and also be African, I can be formerly enslaved African American, or FBA if you want to call it, and be African without it being a contradiction. And I can also be an American. America is a geopolitical place. Africans is a continent, a race, and a culture. It's not an ethnic group. All right? And so if we understand these things, you'll understand what I'm saying. I'm saying if you want to be FBA, there's no need to denounce Africa or Africans. That doesn't help you be FBA. We are FBA because we've been here for 500 years. We've created a culture, a dynamic one of our own, like any other group that is separate from the other groups for 500 years would do. Now, I thought that was what the identity was, not one that would then begin to castigate Africa. I see people telling them there was never any slave ships. Slavery never happened. And I'm listening to all of this and go like, wait a minute, that's not. And anyone with an accent from the continent of the Caribbean gets jumped upon. I go like, where is all of that coming from? What has that to do with the history of the most courageous African people in the world? Those of us who had to grow up in the house of the white man. Brothers and sisters in other parts of the world, they've been the overwhelming majority. White folks have been the minority. But we had to grow up in the house of a white majority and kick his ass all the way to the bank. And we've done it for 500 years. So we have a very unique personality. I'm not arguing against that. I will die for any FBA any day. That's me. That's my family. I'm born in South Carolina. I'm Gullah Geechee, but that's not my race. That's a cultural manifestation. I'm FBA. That's not my race. That's a genetic infusion and cultural manifestation. America, that's not my race. That is a geopolitical place. Africa is my race. That's my grandmother, my grandfather, my ancient culture, my ancestors. So I'm trying to explain that, and I thought I was doing it in a fairly decent way in that piece with the interview with the young man from Kenya. Are they angry because I did an interview with a young man from Kenya? I do an interview with anybody who I think is decent that asks me to do one, okay? And I don't get paid. I don't have a podcast. All those James Small video you see on the internet, I don't get 1 penny off of one of them. Whoever's putting up those videos, I've never put a video of my own on the internet ever. Brother Ankh put together almost 4 or 5 years ago a YouTube TV channel for me. I've never used it. I think one program I did some years ago with Obibi Tume. So this whole attack thing, they're even making a thing of my taking trips to Africa.
Oh, we go back, Professor. We're gonna.
Hey,
I want. Yeah. We gotta slow down. Slow down, Professor. Because we're gonna
but
get
I don't
there.
want to get in. Let me be clear. I didn't come on today to get in no contention.
No. I know. We know, Professor.
Right.
Well, I did, but I'll just wait till you
all
leave.
of my people.
Hold on. Yeah,
I'll wait till you leave. Hey, sometimes the warrior spirit got to be there. I won't do it with you because I respect you, but I got this from you. Don't hate me. Hate the game. I got it from you. I watched you talk about how, well, Dr. Ben is a little bit too nice. I don't come to be nice. So I'm coming in that spirit. 20 years ago when I met you, and I seen how you did what you did, and I understand the whole situation. So go ahead.
Hold on. Yeah, hold tight. So after that,
let me just say, sister, one thing about Tariq. I have no personal beef with Brother Tariq. I made a criticism about a behavior.
I know you don't.
I know you don't.
Yeah, I know you don't. We know you don't.
We know you don't. And that's why we here, though.
I'm a young man, but I cannot understand this attack on African peoples, on brothers and sisters from other place. Even if you say I'm not the leader, if you are in a leadership position and you're influencing people, anything you say tends to influence our people to look a certain way. And so the one thing all of our leaders have fought for that I know of is the unification of African people worldwide. You can call it Pan-Africanism, Johnism, jump over the broomism, the unification of African peoples worldwide. And when somebody is actually attacking that, it just baffles the hell out of me.
No, understood, Professor. Okay. So after everyone, like I said, once they took that clip, Professor James Small calls, brother, Tariq, a CIA agent, and then the other headlines and people just, putting your name in videos and fabricating things and all that. Then people started to pull old clips of you speaking, and they pulled these clips with the intention to show that you're contradicting your talking points are contradictory. Basically, the first clip was a clip of you speaking. It was recorded by Transatlantic Productions, and you were talking about the African American identity. Do you remember that clip by any chance, Professor James Small?
I'm vaguely. I've always like I said, long before there was an FBA, I was trying to teach our people that we need to establish our own identity. That's not anti-African. When the Akan man in Ghana says, I am Ashanti, and I am Akan, and I am Ghanaian, and I am African, none of those things is a contradiction.
No, it's not.
Okay, so why can't the African American establish their identity and their peculiar history and culture without having to attack the rest of the family? Okay, that's not necessary. That's not necessary. I can be a foundational Black American, an African American, an American, and an African, and none of them would be a contradiction. We built America, and you've heard me say this 1,000 times. We built this. We ain't giving it to nobody.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
My mantra. Secondly, that continent belonged to me long before, for millions of years before I came here. I'm not leaving that wealth in the hands of nobody or allowing the cracker to come back and take the part we've taken away from them. That is simple logic and my political position.
Understood. And there was a second clip of you talking. They pulled a clip of you on 125th Street, and you were talking to Sinetta about continental Africans, and you seem to be upset about some things. And so could you give us some context? Because people are, they're saying that you contradicted yourself there as well. So could you give us some context?
First of all, I, like anybody else, can criticize brothers and sisters from here, from the Caribbean, from Central South America, from Africa, if I think the criticism is warranted. If they don't think the criticism is warranted, then they should respond to that. That day, I was walking across 125th Street. I guess it was almost 8-9 years ago or something.
You said about 2012, 2013. Didn't you say about that?
It's a long time ago. I know I was coming from St. Louis. Mm-hmm. And this is after Brother Brown had been killed. Some brothers had called a rally out there. And anyway, I'm walking across. Brother Jack is there, Brother Sinetta. But there's a number of things going on. Mm-hmm. What had happened on the 125th Street for the last few weeks leading up to that is the policeman was snatching the products of primarily the young African-American teens, selling their socks, their sneakers, and their tapes, throwing them in garbage bag, taking them away because they didn't have vendor's license. Mm-mm. Some of the brothers from the continent had vendor's license. Some didn't. But Jack was trying to get a meeting at the National Black Theater of all of the merchants so they would band together and fight to support the brothers who was getting their products taken away. Mm-hmm. Well, the brothers from the continent just went numb to that. So I got pissed about that. They didn't want to go to that meeting. They didn't seem to want to unite. I wasn't even asked to do that. I took that upon myself to just kick their asses. That's what that was about. And I didn't, the things that I said was not non-truth. I said it very rude and very brutal, but almost everything I said was an accuracy, right? But it wasn't meant to malign the brothers. It was meant to criticize them. How dare can you stand here, right, and do business when your brothers, whose country you're in, is being snatched up and their products being taken away? And that's what that was a response to. And then
you said in that video you also criticized Black Americans as well, right?
The video is an hour and a half long. Mm-hmm. I praise Black women. I talk about Pan-Africanism. I talk about nationalism. I talk about economic politics, and all of that's in the video. But somebody took that little 2 minutes. This isn't the first time it was done. This time it happened to be done by a young brother who I know, who's a spokesperson in the community of Foundation of Black America. He told me he put it out there a few weeks ago, but he said he didn't mean no malice by it. But by then I was already pissed off. But it had surfaced 4 years ago when I'm sitting, the same clip. I'm sitting in Ghana trying to negotiate an $800,000 buy-in to our hotel, right? When somebody circulated that clip that morning. The buyer walked out and said they would never have anything to do with me ever again and pulled his $800,000 off the table. So I was like, who did that clip? So this time it surfaced the day before the government of Ghana was giving me their highest award for tourism. And I go like, this don't look right. One time it happened, not happening again. And then when I saw the banner on the bottom where it came from, I responded to that banner. They know why I responded to that banner. They know who circulated that clip. Now, if they didn't mean no malice, I could accept that. But it keeps happening only when I'm about to have something going on in Africa. And I go like, wow, that looks like COINTELPRO to me. I didn't know who it came from at that point.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I myself constantly, when I do certain things are happening. Now, let me give some background, because most of the young people don't know who I am. First of all, this professor shit, don't get it confused. And I'm not going to be harsh, but I just don't get it confused. I don't have a master's degree. I don't have a PhD degree, except 2 honorary PhD that Black universities gave me. All right. I'm a professor legally because I taught a professor's load as an adjunct in a Black Studies department that I helped to found, create, and write the curricula for. The biggest in the country at City University.
Teach.
Okay? And so so they can understand I don't come from the system. When I left that system, I didn't walk away with a penny retirement because they wouldn't let me buy into their system because I fought the system. All right. So people need to understand clearly. They don't even have a clue who I am. One brother said, well, I never saw him in California. Well, he needs to call Orange County 77th Precinct and find out why me and Malcolm's sister was beaten down, thrown in ditches, thrown in jail in 1970 when he was crawling around not knowing how to even say black. Or the same brother said, well, he wasn't in Chicago. I never seen him. Well, I think I helped to put together at least 2 conferences in Chicago on reparations. Testified twice before the Chicago City Council to produce the ordinance that Dorothy Tillman had produced that made every corporation in Chicago told where they got their parent money from, which was slavery, before they could do business in Chicago. So he needs to check his little record and check his history. So I just want to let people know I got background. I come out of a movement. Now, whether I even if I didn't explain what I tried to explain clearly enough, there's some people who know me well enough to know damn well what I meant.
Sure.
They knew exactly what I meant. And then maybe some young people got confused because they only saw these clips and think, oh, wow, this guy is doing that. But I just want to tell those young people, I love you. I spent my whole life prepared to die for you.
65 years.
FBA,
65 years.
Foundation of Black American, African American. I've always been a soldier. I've never led any organization except the mosque. I've been a soldier and didn't mind soldiering on other people. Most of my leaders were women. And I soldiered under them with respect. And I've never backed away. You know, I'm married to the same sister for 54 years. I've raised all my children in the Black community. All of them are servicing their community. Every one. If I saw one of them that I thought was not giving service to African American people or African people, they would have the same issue with me anybody else would have.
Okay.
But my whole point for coming on to this is let my young people know I am not your enemy. I am not against you. I would die before I fight against you. But you can't take away my right to criticize you if I see you doing something wrong.
Exactly.
Anything that fosters the division of African peoples is something wrong. We have an enemy that has spent the entire time we've been with them with divide and conquer on every level. And we cannot feed into that. That is just not right.
Right.
But my love for you, FBA, I will die for FBA. I am just as FBA as you. In some way, more than most, because you don't know my genetic history. And I can take you to the grave of my Chicora ancestors in South Carolina. I can take you to my Walker-Moore ancestors. I can take you to Sandy Island to see my PD ancestors, as well as my African. And when I did my DNA, I was shocked. I only had 3% Native Americans. I had 3% Irish. That's oh shit. But everything else is African. And I dare to ask anyone, go take your DNA. There's not a single one of you that would have any less than 75% African genes. All right. And our genes are superior to any other group of deficient genes in the world. So let's at least have a decent discussion on reality. We're in a race war. And we don't need to be at war with one another.
That's right.
Fight anybody in my community because I'm not at war with you. I'm at war with the people in Washington. I'm at the war with the people in England. I'm at the war with the people in Russia. I'm even at war with the people in China because I know what they've got in mind for me and my people.
Ashe. Hey, Professor, another thing, and I want you, because this is continuing in the vein of what you're talking about, when you mention your work, because it's this misconception that you do more work and you're more worried about continental Africans than you are over your people here. And so, and it is also this misconception that, you know, you're worried about them over there more because there's, you know, you get notoriety over there and you're making a whole bunch of money over there. So your work is mainly over there as opposed to, you know, locally, nationally, and internationally. So could you speak to the work that you are doing in Africa? Yeah, we've done multiple things through the years. Remember, we've been doing this tours back and forth, me and Dr. Jeffries, starting with Dr. Jeffries, Dr. Clark, myself. For almost 40 years. The one thing we never did was ever made a profit. Every profit penny we made went into taking a student or someone else that couldn't afford to go to Africa. Last year, the first time in 40 years, I made some money off of a trip.
what we would take, sometimes we would take 30, 40 duffel bags full of medical supplies, break them down and give them to smaller clinics. We helped to build well in the countryside where poor people those kids had to walk miles to get water from a river. You know, that has been the kind of work we did. And we own a hotel over there. I hear people say, I own a hotel. No, guess what? 80 of us put our money in that pot. 80 of us own a hotel. And we didn't buy a hotel from any white man. We bought our hotel from a black chief who built it from scratch. All right. And so they can understand that. And we never stay in any facility that's not owned by African peoples, either African Americans who have settled there or Africans who live there. Ever. That's been our policy. Ever. Okay.
So you don't make a whole bunch of profit going back and forth to Africa and building on no profit.
Sometimes
Okay.
I've gone to Africa, sister, with $10 in my pocket. You understand? Because I know I got people who going to give me some food. I'm going to go to Baba Cohane at Mabel's table. I got an adopted family over there. My daughter Barbara is a member of parliament. All right. Barbara Asher AC, look her up. You know, I go to their house. I sleep there. I sleep with my son Junior's at Junior's house. I've got family there. All right. I got grandkids there. Okay. And so, but I have family and grandkids here. I've fought in the struggle over here in ways the critics can't imagine. I fought with Zayed Secor. That's the brother who was killed on the turnpike with Asada. I helped when Asada had been released. I helped protect that person when they were released, firsthand, up front. All those other talking heads, I didn't see them. Y'all weren't out there gunslinging. I laid on the floor in LAX on my gut with a shotgun in one hand and a pistol in one hand, fending off LAPD. You weren't there. Me and Ella, and then was saved, Ella being the sister of Malcolm X, by the help of Yasser Arafat interfering through the federal government, asked them not to kill us. I didn't see you. When I get busted on Telegraph Avenue with Roy Ballard and Nasser Shabazz and Ella Collins and Huey and them who was waiting for us at the Black House, jumped in their cars and ran away. The person who was criticizing of California didn't come to my aid. And that one most in 1968, the African American Association, I lived in California during that period. That's how I met Dr. Maulana Karanga. He was a part of that organization. Would meet at this little church in Oakland. And we were putting together things that you now can't even imagine about struggle. You weren't there. I didn't spend my years out here playing. I don't even talk about the stuff I've done in the struggle because that's my job. As a Black man, that's my job. At City College, Leonard Jeffries and myself and the comrades and the Sons of Africa, Brother Reggie and them, we saw thousands upon thousands upon thousands of our people come through with degrees that they would not have gotten if we were not in control for the 20 years we were in control before the Zionists ousted us. With the help of our own brothers and sisters who couldn't hold nothing together that we put together after we got ousted. But that's okay. That's the way war works. You win some battle, you lose some.
You lose some. So, Professor, so just as much work as you've done in Africa, you've done that
more
right here on this land.
I've done more in Africa, but I've done most of my work for my people here. I'm not even talking about the work I've done in Jamaica, up in the mountains with the Maroons. I'm not going to talk about the work I've done in Trinidad or what I've done in Grenada or Carriacou. I don't have to talk about any of those. I knew Maurice Bishop. Me and Winston was going there to set up his continuing education program, Modem, and he got killed 2 weeks before we were to arrive in the country. So people who don't understand, I don't have to tell you that. I'm telling you whether you like it or not, FBA, I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about that. FBA, I understand you. I know who you are. You were exactly me a few years ago, struggling to find my identity and get it right. I support you. All right. If what I said disturbed you because other people took it out of context, they could have let you saw the whole tape. Any one of those tapes, see the whole tape. Even the one on 125th Street, where I'm castigating the brothers from the continent, I'm also kicking us in the behinds too for our behavior. And then I'm also praising both of them and talking about Pan-Africanism and praising our women. And all of that is on that tape. So go watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. No,
and
absolutely.
That's the whole thing I did with the young man from Kenya. And I made this young man to make sure he didn't chop things and cut things. I made him send me the raw footage of what he did. And I got all of that.
No, but Professor James Small, I want to give Ankh and Dr. Asar a chance to get in and ask some questions that may be pressing, some questions that are on your heart. Starting with you, Brother Ankh. It seemed like something on your mind, brother.
Yeah. It's a very interesting situation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you have earned the right to critique us.
Absolutely.
It's not too many people I listen to. I think they all flaming pseudos. And some of your partners, I just think they pseudos and out of order completely. And it's things that you say that I say that's out of order. But it was one thing you said to me. Few things. You said, God damn, you stand on my shoulders. You can see it, I can't see it.
He said the same thing to me.
You gotta call me and talk to me about it. So we done had our fights on the phone, and I'm like, come on, man, that's not what it is. And back and forth, you hear me. But it's the elegance and grace.
That's right.
That's why I tried to get your own damn YouTube channel so you wouldn't have to be like that. Well, you can tell them, kiss your ass if you need to be.
That's right.
Right? Because you stood up. I seen it. I know who first motivated me when I picked up lectures. I know who had the locks and the African in the background, the drums going. I say, what the hell is this? I know what motivated me. I heard you say, man, I'm a person from Africa thinking they more African. I heard you say, wait a minute. I'm not an African because I was born in Africa. I'm an African because it was born in me. And then when I went too far to the African side, I heard you say, well, hold on, brother. You need to don't let them take America from you, brother. This was 20 years ago. And then I understood there's a healthy blend and mix that needs to happen. Right? You struggle to be an African American and you struggle never to lose your Africanness. There's a hell of a blend. And I'm saying we just use science literacy to put that healthy blend together. See, we got it. I know what you're saying, but it's a wild day when people who are completely out of order with their information, right, try to tell you that you can't say, I think you're a CIA agent. I know what the hell you meant. You're saying the pure divisiveness that you're causing by calling people tethers, by saying all kind of wild stuff, by mischaracterizing Pan-Africanists and telling the new people who come into this thing that they shouldn't love Africa or should not connect with the people. That's CIA agent. I get it. You wasn't literally saying it was that. You was just saying the information that you putting forth. It's the same thing they did in the 60s. And you're the only one that was back there then. You've seen it. You've seen the mess that was caused by the government. And it's the documentations. You've given me the documentation before. Everybody listens to this program know it is clear documentations. They put a wedge in between us. All you saying is, I don't want that to happen. And then in the next sentence, you was like, I don't think he's that. Now, how could you say both? Because it's the African teaching style. You're bringing out the behaviors. You're teaching. You're storytelling, and then you explain how I think it was the government, not him. So, but listen, you dealing with TikTok, YouTube, short attention span people who are not as educated as you are.
That's a fact,
right? And you know why? Because they don't follow the steps. See, they want it all at once. I was forced to follow the steps, bro. You was like, hold on, you don't know that. Hold on. You made me sit there and hear what you were saying. You made me have conversations. You talked to me. You let me, and when it was time to let me go, you let me go. They're not doing that now. You got a group of people that saying Tariq is not the leader. Wait a minute, bro. We're not saying that your name was signed on a piece of paper to the leader. We're saying your actions, the way you command the crowd, the way you bring people in, right, clearly shows that you're the head of something. And that is responsibility. It's not responsible to always say, I'm not the leader. That would not be true. Fundamentally, that would not be true. So I can't sugarcoat none of this. There's a point, though. They got us all into trouble. Not me, because I stood on it. And it's that fake acting like we're in America first. I can't cut no cars. I can't do it.
Now I gotta will you back in because I want to keep this.
I'm gonna freeze it.
Yeah,
I'm done. I said it. It's that point that FBA or African Americans claim that they're in America first, and I'm saying that pseudo information and misinformation. And I'm gonna play the clips, and we're gonna get into it. Go ahead. You don't gotta will me in, Doc.
I just say because I want to.
Did we not have a fight over Doc? Me and you fought for weeks over conversations before you put out your mail track episode. And I'm saying if you or Sissy can do it, then the rest of them can do it too.
No, I'm with you. I just want to keep this on.
I just want to get it.
I hear what you're saying. I just want to get off. I had a burning desire. No, I understand, but I want to keep this focused on people understanding and giving context. I understand what you feel like is pseudo and it's misinformation, disinformation, but I want to keep this solely right now about clearing up whatever misinformation or disinformation is out there about Professor James Small. That's what I want to keep this focused on. Dr. Asar, do you have any questions for Professor James Small regarding this situation?
Yeah, I like that. So peace and power, Baba, Professor Smalls. Peace. I'm brother Dr. Dennis Asar Winkler here in Baltimore. You've been to the center about 3 times with brother Jabari at TNAT.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I have a question, and it's more of a framing of things, and I'm seeing it in the chat today. Is this idea that Pan-Africanists are one-sided, and I don't know where that's coming from, because most of the people I hear, including yourself and Dr. Maya, and many people saying, I can understand why, identifying one lineage here in America is essential, it's also, we can't deny our Africanity or African lineage. So my question is, Dr. Small, can you clarify something for us? 2 people can say the same critique. 2 people can say the same critique, but one speaks from unity and the other speak from separation. Can you explain how the intent behind the critique changes the meaning, even if the words sound the same? If you follow me, I'm basically saying that there's been this argument and debate around this idea that, you're saying the same thing that they say, but I think that, you say the same thing, but they're not making room for this and part. Like, and from an African Center standpoint, it's a both and. So the and part is I can be FBA. I can critique my brothers and sisters from the continent here in America, wherever, but at the same time, I'm doing it from a place of in the family love, not as a separatist.
Right. And that's the clarity.
Yes.
When I criticize FBA, which I haven't done as extremely as they've said, that's I'm then what do you say? I'm then the enemy. When I criticize the brothers and sisters from home, then it says I'm a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
And I use Africa as home because I lived there millions of years before I've lived here. And so people can understand that I teach spirituality from an African sacred science perspective. I have always existed. When I die out of this body, I will still exist. That's our science. That's the science of the universe, cosmos, ecology. But to come back to Pan-Africanism, which is a phenomena that grew out of the Caribbean and the United States and then into Africa, is about the unification of African people after the disunification of African people due to slavery. Okay. Slavery disunited us, tore us from our home, from our families, from everything, from our culture, but we never lost everything. We always retained some things. If you go back to the 1770s, Prince Hall Freemasons called themselves the Free African Lodge. If you go to 1749, In Georgia and South Carolina, the Black people there called themselves the African Baptist Church, which became the Black or the Baptist Southern Baptist Conference. That thing started in 1749 as the African Baptist Church. In Philadelphia in the 1700s, we call ourselves the African Methodist Church. We never forgot we were Africans. And we always use it to identify our institutions. In 1892, T. Thomas Fortune called the organization he founded the Afro-American League. This is before Malcolm X was born. Martin Delany, before the Civil War, went back to Nigeria to a place called Abeokuta, where his grandfather was from, and organized what it was called the Niger Valley Association, and they gave him enough land to bring all of us back home and sent him here to bring all of us back home. But everybody, some people wanted to go, some didn't want to go. In the founding of Liberia, we didn't go there and take the land away from some other Africans. And there was some white folks who got together initially and then got with some Black folks that found the American Colonization Society to try to figure a way, how do we get the free Blacks out of this country? Because they're fostering rebellion by the enslaved Blacks. So let's get them out. And the get out was to buy the swamp lands in what is now Liberia, where those people established a nation there and brought the indigenous population who had been involved, some of them in the slave trade, into that new nation. And I've criticized all of this stuff. People need to study history and understand it's not a contradiction. It looks like you're going up and down. It's because I don't side with nobody Black. I side with everybody Black. And all of us, including me, have a contradiction. I have contradictions. I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm trying to put it together. But my intention, all content must have intent. You taught us that. All content must have intent. My intention is to show love and unity through understanding and analyzing our contradictions. All right? And so if I don't get it verbally right, then I understand if you want to kick my behind, do it. I'm not running. The demon rats that run this country will tell you the one dude that they could tell you ain't running is me. Okay? And the one dude they can't put no money in his hands is me. I walked away from the most powerful Muslim mosque in this country as its imam, having been to Mecca, because I turned down the money. Because I said, this ain't African enough, even though Malcolm founded it. And I walked away and left the money on the table. You don't want to even know how much money was on that table. There's so much you don't understand about the war against us and why they want us disunited and why they want to rip us apart. Yes, we are foundational Black America. That's real. This is a culture we spent 500 years fostering. We have married with other ethnic groups, but our dominant foundation is African. And we eat up everybody else's genes. So don't play the gene thing, because I can show you scientifically they can't survive in an African vessel. And we can go into, quantum physics and different phases of anthropology and do all of that stuff, but we don't need to do that. We can see each other. You don't have to like how I say it. I'm loving you anyway, and I'm doing it because I love you. I understand you. I truly do understand you. Why you're foundational Black American. I understand that. What I'm trying to say to you is free your mind. And you've heard me say this in speeches. Free your mind. I think I said this in that thing the other day, so you can free your behind. But you've got to free your mind and not be manipulated by others. Not even a me. Anything I say to you, check that shit out. Is Small accurate in what he's saying? Does he have something to back up what he's saying? But my primary thing is to tell you, I'm a soldier. I've always been a soldier. I've never been nobody's leader. And I know because of my word, not my age, I'm influential. So that's leading people. And I understand that. So I know I got to always be careful. But I've always been a soldier in this movement for our people. And I've never put a price on that. But I'm married to such a beautiful queen. She ain't never says, because I got to go out here working every day as a physician. Yes, my wife is a physician. And me and our children suffered to put her through medical school. And she never, ever not helped this family along the way. And she's still sitting right downstairs. She was mad. I wouldn't tell her what was going on the internet. She went off on me the other night because I was trying to keep this out of her ears, because she know that the 75% of this marriage, when I wasn't with her, I was out there serving our people, and she want to know why is somebody turning on you. But let me be clear. Somebody put a clip. Everybody's turning against Brother Small. Don't be foolish. We are 3 billion people. Okay. Even if 10,000 say, F you, Small, I got 3 billion people that I can love on, and they can love on me, and I will die for, and many will die for me. But we will die for this race. We will die for the unification of those who have been ripped apart and torn apart by our enemies. And that's all we're talking about when we say Pan-African. And there's some people who are Pan-African who are messed up, I'm sure. There's some people who are FBA who are messed up. But for the most part, most people are struggling to try to find a way to be free. Let's stop fighting with each other. I don't want to fight with nobody. I don't have time. At 80 years old, I'm already out of time. Learn something from me. Study me. There's at least 100 videos of me on YouTube. Listen to them and see if I had anything to say that would be useful to you to build the FBA movement in the world.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Brother Ankh, do you have any questions for Professor James Small? Any clarity, any context, anything he needs to clear up, or what's your thoughts? Any questions for him while we still have him?
Yeah. So this is new for me. Why do you feel the need to have to clarify your crystal clear statements about how ridiculous it is at times that people who are African Americans would not even give people a chance from the continent and talk crazy and call them tethers? And then when African Americans acting crazy, you correct them. Why now do you feel the need to, clarify what you say? I'm just
yes, sir. And I'll take it back to an incident in my life some years ago. Y'all ever heard of a man named Nicky Barnes?
Yes.
One of the biggest dope dealer gangsters in this world.
Yeah.
Well, me and my friend, Mr. Evans, we were working at City College. And we had a college, when we took it over, it had 22,000 students, but only 150 Black students, and it sit in the middle of Harlem. And we said, hell no, this won't go. And we had reached to the point where we had 13,000 Black students there. But then the drugs was inundated in the community. So I went to see Mr. Barnes at a business meeting. So, Mr. Barnes, I will not bother you in the street of Harlem, where I had some power. If you would give me City College, give me those kids that come through that arch, that 13,000. Let me do something with them. You know what Mr. Barnes did? Shook hands and kept his word. And we made the only drug-free campus in America for Black kids for nearly 20 years. And nobody will talk about it. The only thing I got accused of is that I must be a drug dealer because I can keep the drugs off the campus. And any monies that I used when I established the first Black scholarship there, they said that money had to come from drugs. So, and I had to try to explain to people the difference between that relationship we have with Mr. Barnes. So many of our people just don't understand. Elijah taught us when we were youngsters, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said, we are deaf, we're blind, and we're dumb. And a deaf man, you can't abandon him because he don't hear you and act like he's ignoring you. You got to get him some hearing aid. That's your duty. Okay. A blind man, you don't abandon him because he bumps into you and bumps into things. You get him a CNI dog or stick, so people would know he's blind. Okay. And if someone is dumb and can't speak, then you teach him sign language so he can communicate. That's our job. I cannot abandon anyone. Some people who may have criticized, and I saw some ugly stuff. Let me kiss my, I was like, wow. I thought those days was long gone, but if you don't know, you don't know. And we didn't come to teach the healthy. We came to teach the sick. We didn't come to teach the perfected. We come to teach the unperfected. That's what our job lies, soldiers.
Mm.
And I'm not looking for love from anyone. I am love. I love me. I love the divine in me. I love those beautiful children I just brought from the bus station. They love grandpa. And the 3 who just came in from where they were for the week, who live here with me, they hug me because they know they love me. Know grandpa gonna fight, even if they don't like it. Sometimes my kids don't like me because the burden I put on them to carry is a little bit heavier than they want to carry. But they understand why as they grow. I put that burden. We come to help the downtrodden. We come to tell our people, if you don't get a way to provide food, clothing, shelter, safety for your people, you ain't even in the way. Every human being wake up in the morning wondering how they're going to provide the food, clothing, shelter, safety for their people. That means you got to control what? Economic, politics, and culture. Who told us this? Malcolm X. And if you're going to control the economic, politics, and culture so you can provide the food, clothing, shelter, you have got to then take control of land, labor, and resources. And Pan-Africanism and nationalism are partners in that process of controlling land, labor, and resources, and taking control of the economic, politics, and culture to provide the food, clothing, shelter. That's the package. Anything else is just an explanation for the fluff around the package. But that's the package. That's what I stand for. That's what I do. That's who I am. And I love my people. I don't care whether they dislike me or you're going to cuss me out. After you get through cussing me out, ask yourself, did that change anything for you? Is there something I can learn from this old dude? Even when he don't sound like he's making sense. Is there something I can learn from 60-something years of experience? Walking in these streets, taking low, being hungry. I have been homeless, begging, stealing food. So don't talk to me unless you're willing to walk where I've walked.
Come on. All right, Professor Small.
I know even that statement is in love.
Is in love. Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Tomorrow. I don't know whether I'll be free tomorrow to hook up a little brother sincere. But if they want to sit down and have a talk with me beforehand, and there's no game that's going to be played, but I will also consult my comrades and elders before I make a decision to be on anybody's platform going forward.
That's right. That's right.
Stop and sit down and pick up the pen and put some of the stuff I just told y'all on some papers for perpetuity. But even that's not going to change. I love my people. FBA, I love FBA. Okay. ADOS, even though I hadn't had much to do with y'all, and some of the rhetoric y'all was saying is just crazy as can be. I love those brothers and sisters who say I'm ADOS. Not the people who are confusing and misleading. And we must make a distinction. This is from the continent. I love you in whatever nation you're in. And I'm just going to close with this, sister.
Yes.
That hotel we have, I'm the CEO, have been for 20-something years. I have been robbed for over $300,000 out of that facility, right? I have been sentenced to death to not only the month, the week, or the day I was to die. But for everybody who robbed me at that facility, there was 10 people who came to my aid to let me know I was being robbed. When they tried to kill me over there on that particular date in July, about 10 years ago, people from that side stepped in and said, don't you come back over here. We're hearing something in the street. And when I did say, enough is enough, and jumped on a plane, Leonard Jeffries said, I'm going with you to confront this issue. The people, there were thousands of people over there who rallied to my side. And some of those who wanted to take my life lost theirs. I don't praise that. But I just want to let people understand. But it didn't make me love my people any damn less.
Right, any less.
And I go to Ghana any damn time I want.
That's right. That's right.
Because you know why? Because I've been robbed over here.
Come on, right.
I have been abused over here.
Right, exactly.
I had my children of mine who've been molested by these people who we call brothers and sisters right here. Am I to condemn all of my people? No.
Right.
I have to deal with those who create the contradiction.
Okay.
That's right.
This is about my race. So don't get shit confused, because you
Come
don't
on.
really understand who I am. I'm cool. I love you, whether you know how to love me back or not. I will fight for you with the best I got. It may not be the perfect. My words may not be perfect, but I will fight sincerely with those words for you, because that's the best tool I have. My words and my mind that put those words forward.
Ashe. Professor James Small, I want to thank you. I do want to let you go. You said 1 hour. We agreed on 1 hour.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
So I want you to go ahead with the family. I know you said you got the babies there and the family's there.
With my wife, because I don't like for her heart to be hurting over nothing she don't deserve.
She don't deserve it. No,
she spent her whole life in the struggle. You know, I remember when she was Sister Tahira and we were in the mosque together. I married her when she was 18 years old. And this queen have stayed the course for 53 years. So I have an obligation. I have other partners in the world, sisters I've loved before, and they know that I've been as honorable as I can be, even when I've screwed up and made mistakes.
Come on, that
I've
part.
never abandoned my people. I've never abandoned my friends. I'm still friend with the first girl I ever went with, Sister Betty Ann. We still talk about once a week and on the Facebook. And I'm not going to tell you what our contradictions were, but we're still friends.
Love it, Professor.
Well, Professor, loving our race is about understanding that race is not just about people. It's about this whole universe. We are the universe. There is a mutated bacteria, a virus that has taken hold in this universe. We can call them Europeans or whatever peons we want. It is a virus. And we are the only thing that can destroy that virus. It is. I'm not going to claim the mutation has given me greater integrity than my fundamental African ancestry. I'm going to eradicate the virus. That's my duty. I'm the universe. You are the universe. I love you. I adore you. I will fight for you, but I don't have to always agree with you. You don't have to always agree with me.
That's right.
At least respect one another. Have love and regard for the race. Our intent should reflect our content, and our content should be governed by our intent.
Can I say this to you? You're a damn brand, man. I want you to know that.
That's right.
2025, you're a brand.
That's right.
All right. We 2025, we the upgrade version of you. Standing on your shoulders. And I'm here to protect the damn brand.
That's right.
Simple as that. I gotta say it. I appreciate everything you've done for me. I remember the first time I met you, right? I remember how you introduced me to people of renown, the respect, the honor you've always given me. I appreciate that. I might not agree with everything you say, but look, I stand on your shoulders. I don't have too many elders because I feel like they be flim-flamming. But I think you represent that because we had these serious conversations.
That's right.
You admit when you right and you admit when you wrong. That's all I ask for, because it's gonna be a youngster. He gonna force me to do the same thing. He gonna say, look, man, this is not what it is no more. He gonna show me, gonna talk to me, we're gonna have that little fight back and forth. And at the end of the day, he want me to hear him say, hey man, you was right about that. Because it's an honorable thing to do. You have been an honorable man.
Yes, he has.
Been very disrespectful to the damn brand. I need you to get your channel up. People want to see you sometime without the outside noise and this person.
Yeah.
If not, they listen, it's 2025 and you don't have to struggle. You're so renowned. You don't have to go through anything. You can have your hotel, let them do what they want to do, but you got to have your own bread coming straight to you. No cut on it, because you've earned this right. And I'm glad you're having success now on YouTube and Facebook and all that. I say, if anybody deserves it, it's you. Now we just got to make sure it comes to you, because it be to you.
Well,
You don't give it away.
Success is being able to get in my people's face. I get not one penny from Facebook. I get not one penny from YouTube. I have no podcast getting a penny. I do what I do for free. That young man, somebody said something. That young man in Kenya probably can't pay his bus fare. How would he pay me? You know, he had been reaching out to me for months and months. And I wanted to say something to the people of Kenya, because there was a young lady named Mumbai. Y'all ever seen the show Dr. Mumbai, the podcast of Dr. Mumbai?
Yes. She's on African Diaspora channel. I know you're talking about.
Well, some months back, she was captured, beaten, and left for dead at the road. And when I saw Mumbai again on the screen, she had the scars on her face. Because that element that didn't like what she was saying about African unity and about corruption in the governments over there, tried to kill that child. So, and I spoke about her in this tape too, because we've got to understand we are at war. So let's not be at war with one another. I will sit and talk to anybody. And if you show me I made a mistake, I'll throw my hands up and say, yo, I screwed that one up. Let's get it straight. But we are at war. We have been at war for 2,000 years with the same group of urchins and viruses and diseased persons. And I'm clear on who they are. They've always been clear. And so let's fight our war, but not fight each other.
God,
I think that's
the system. They're my children fighting me, my grandchildren fighting me. Get to know me. And where you see mistakes, if you see some stuff you can't use, throw that shit in the garbage. Use from me the best of what you can find in me.
That's right.
You know, and grow this race. I'll be gone off the planet in a short time. You're supposed to be the latest version and the highest tech model of me and those other ancestors that came before you.
Absolutely.
Learn what true freedom is, right? True freedom, and get this straight, true freedom is to know your identity. True freedom is to be shackled, as Asa said, to be shackled to your identity. Africa is your race. Foundation Black American is your geopolitical place.
Ashe. So Professor James Small, we're gonna let you go because I only got about 20 more minutes left.
Yes, ma'am.
Before we end this live stream.
Thank you very much for allowing me to come on your podcast.
Thank you, Professor James Small.
Appreciate you.
And we love you.
Gasoline said, freedom or death. And soon, anyone who can reach out to Bayana Bello, every year she raised the soup money, the pumpkin soup money, to celebrate on January 1 the independence of Haiti and the revolution. So I'll be getting back to people. So if you just send 1 penny, a dime, 50 cents to that foundation, the Felicite Foundation, so that we can raise the money to feed thousands of people in Haiti, which we do every year.
Ashe.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, Professor Small. Hotep.
Freedom or death.
Freedom
or death. The only choices we have.
Ashe. Blessings, Professor Small. I'll give you a call, Baba, probably tonight or tomorrow, okay?
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, Baba. You take care. All right, y'all. So you heard from Professor James Small, and I'm glad that he came on, Brother Ankh and Dr. Asar, to give context and clarity to what's the clips and the videos that we've been seeing on the internet. It's a lot that I want to say. So I'm going to allow you all to kind of, like, I know, Ankh, you kind of said what you needed to say like 20 minutes ago. You went off, but I wanted Dr. Asar, like, can you share like your thoughts on, what you heard, and I'll go from there. Because I got to get some stuff off my chest. There's some things I want to say that I could not say while Professor James Small was on. But I'll pass it to you, brother.
I mean, likewise, I wanted to ask questions, but I just feel I'm happy that you two allowed me to take part in this. And I love Dr. Baba Small's heart.
Yeah, he
his
does.
love for our people. I have a kindred love for our people, but I think his brother Ankh said sometimes we have to learn to set boundaries.
Absolutely.
Come on, man.
And I'm coming from a psychosocial perspective, and I mean that I always look at things from a clinical, individual, familial, and communal and societal type of boundary. And there's been many boundaries crossed.
Absolutely.
And part of the problem is that we gave people too much space in the first place. We gave people too much grace in the first place. We gave people too many passes, and we looked past their flaws. Because I want to be clear, and I wanted to ask them, but I didn't want to, go. I'm kind of like a person that kind of stay in my place when I'm on somebody else's platform. So the thing is, I did want to ask though, and it doesn't need to be asked because I already know. Like, so he already answered it, but I just wanted to be clear that what I heard him say is that FBA he thought was a thing that was what people purported is a lineage, and then he started seeing these other things, which I call ideology and talking points and tenets of Tariqism, Nasheedism, or whatever ism. And basically, this is what all people say. Because I mean, it was really hard, to be honest with you, Doc and Brother Unc, to look at the ignorance in the chat and also see this man pour his heart out as one who is authentic and really love our people. Because you got to have a lot of love, for your people. Because I mean, he know what's happening in that chat, even though he didn't see it. Perhaps you have to have a lot of love for people who are hurt so bad. And what I'm saying is, if FBA is just a lineage, and you believe it is, I mean, it makes I mean, we can have the social scientific argument all day, but it is not that. It is an ideology that has been created by Tariq Nasheed, which morphs and evolves every moment. And people are drunk by it. And I'm not coming here to beat up on my brothers and sisters. All I am saying is we got a lot of healing to do. Because the dear elder sat here and poured out his heart.
Only to be attacked in the chat. And I saw it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I saw it. And Doc, it was sickening. It's sickening. Go ahead.
And I'm with Unc. Like, I'm more of a Kamayu warrior. I'm quiet. Believe it or not, I'm quiet. But look, hands off.
Yeah,
look,
hands off, Professor.
Get your mind right. I mean, some of these brothers and sisters I know, and I understand hurt and trauma when I see it. You are so upset. You are so upset at this white man. You are so upset at the oppressive system that you don't know what to do. So now you have to turn on your own people. You have to turn on people that you believe that you have more strength than, and you don't. Because somewhere along the line, you are imploding inside. It is indicative of the hurt and pain and anger you have inside of you. And I feel for you. Because the things you're saying out of your mouth, if you want to psychoanalyze it, it tells you the hurt and pain. And your leader who speaks for you, I get it. Your leader, you can deny leader because he said he's not a leader. I'm sorry. The problem is, at least you can't argue he's a thought leader for the very frame that you call FBA. And I personally would never, ever, ever. I mean, maybe I've even considered and rolled around in my mind FBA, but I would not call myself an FBA, at least not at this time, with all that ideological underpinnings of Nasheedism. And Nasheed, I feel for him too. He's my brother, but he's sick. And his sickness is being carried out in every troll in this chat. And they said, some people say, where did they get it from? You get it from him because I can't even listen to the brother. But someone sent me a video the other day, and I watched the video, and I heard where they get their idiotic talking points from. I hear where they get their misinformation from. But I understand that we need somebody to represent us that we say is not the leader. We even like that because we've been so hurt we don't want leadership. We've been so hurt we don't need no leader because we've been so hurt that look, anyway, I'm going to just stop there, Doc. But what I want to say is, as a person who really studies our mental health, and Doc, we're going to be talking to you and hopefully get Brother Unc to jump on the plane because we're going to be doing a series of panel discussions and workshops talking about the state of the black mind because this is evident. The black mind, I think somewhere along the line, Brother Unc and Dr. Mayat, that we believe we started gaining traction in our conscious circles, and people started to love themselves more. But FBA as it relates to the tenets that I see a lot of them endorsing and the behaviors that they carry out as a result need healing. Our community needs healing. And we got to get back to this black is beautiful, black, all that black talk. Because I'm talking about African black. Because you can be Indian, white, Eskimo, whatever you want to be, but you don't want to be African.
Ashe, Doc. Go ahead. Was that the?
No. I thought you was, but it's good.
I was getting ready to chime in. Yeah, I was getting ready.
Everything.
Yeah, I was getting ready to chime in. I want to chime in.
And as I told you, Doc, the other day, Dr. Joy DeGruy had her dissertation, I think, was entitled something like, heal the part that you hate or something like that. Something along those lines. And that's that African part.
Something along those lines. I just wanted to say this. I'm glad Professor James Small came on the platform to, like I said, provide context and clarity about what he said, on the guy from Kenya's podcast and these clips that we've been seeing from Transatlantic Productions, and also the clip that we saw. And I know which young brother he's talking about. He didn't want to say his name. He's talking about the brother Chase, who runs Voices of Our Ancestors on IG. He has another page called Foundational Black Americans. And I believe he posted the clip there. He may have posted it on Voices of Our Ancestors as well. But I've seen the clip, and I don't think that brother meant any harm when he posted the clip. But we have to be careful of the things we post. I don't think that he was malicious and he was trying to incite something, or start something. I don't think that Chase did that. I had the pleasure of meeting him when brother Tariq Nasheed was filming American Maroon in Atlanta, Georgia, and I went down there and I met Chase, and he's a nice guy. He's a young guy. He's like in his late 20s maybe, and beautiful spirit, very humble brother. So I don't think that he posted that clip with the intention to get some stuff started. But the reality is what he posted did start some stuff. And so I think that the lesson should be, moving forward, we have to be mindful of the things that we post. Even brother Ankh, he and I have had conversations behind closed doors when it comes to certain guests on the platform. And he's helped me to realize over the years, he said, Doc, you have an audience. My audience is not as big as Tariq Nasheed's, but he said, you have an audience. And I realized I actually do, when I go places, and so he said, you got to be mindful of who you bring on, because people will think this person is legit. They was with Dr. Ma'at, and they were on your platform. And so therefore, I should follow them and I should listen to them. And even shout out to brother Knowledge Born Allah. He said the same thing. There was somebody, one of the brothers, who put out the clip, FBI, Professor James Small, FBI equals CIA operations. He said, I only followed that brother because you used to shout him out. You used to talk about him. And that's why I followed the brother. That's how I learned about him in the first place, through you. And so we got to be mindful of the stuff, the clips and the videos that we post online, the quotes, because people can misconstrue them, right? Or misinterpret them, right? And take them out of context. So that's the first thing that I wanted to say. The second thing, I don't appreciate what some of these brothers did. I'm thinking about George what's his name? Macon Mason right now. He's another one who called himself going in on Professor James Small. He was the one that wrote the headline, Professor James Small calls Tariq Nasheed a CIA agent. And I'm sitting there listening to him babble for 10 minutes, and I had to cut the damn video off, because the stuff that he was saying about Professor James, he took the whole thing out of context, which made me realize, Brother Ankh and Dr. Assad, that people have serious listening comprehension issues. Serious listening comprehension issues. They'll tell you something that you said, and you're like, I didn't say that, or this person said, and I'm sitting there, and I said, and I used to get offended when someone would misperceive or misconstrue what I said. But then I realized some people have comprehension issues, and we don't have a lot of thinkers. I don't even want to get into critical thinkers. I'm just talking about, Doc, people who simply know how to think, because as I tell my students all the time, thinking is a skill that is developed. I said, we feel and believe more than we think. I tell people that all the time. You feel and believe more than you think. People think because you answer, I got a thought in my brain, I'm thinking. No, thinking is intentional. And that's what I tell my students. Then to think critically is a whole nother level. So I realized that in these YouTube streets, in these IG streets and X or Twitter, you have a lot of people who have zero, they have no listening comprehension skills, and they don't know how to think, let alone critically think. And so we're contending with that issue as well. And then the last thing I want to say before I land my plane and pass the mic to Brother Ankh, it's a lot of coward ass niggas out here. Oh, Dr. Mahat said niggas. Yes, cowards. You want to attack an 80-year-old man. Before we went live, somebody was like, yeah, I've been waiting to pull up on Professor James Small. Are you serious? Somebody's great-grandfather, somebody's grandfather, somebody's dad, pop. You talking about, I want to pull up on the people that killed Trayvon Martin. Go grab Zimmerman. Go grab some of these cops that's whipping our tails. Some of these white boys that then took the lives of black men, women, and children, and nobody did a damn thing about it. You want to pull up on Professor James Small, an 80-year-old elder who put in work. That man joined the movement at the age of 15 years old and put in work nonstop for the past 65 years, and you want to pull up on him because of some statements that you misconstrued. Then you all want to take the daggone clips and put them out there and misrepresent what he said. FBA equals CIA operation. He never said that. And the brother know who I'm talking to, and I'm not saying your name for a reason. Then you want to play you a damn sheep. You a damn wolf in sheep's clothing because you sat there and you knew what you was doing, and then you wanted to be nice. Well, I'm just trying to critique the elder. You know, he's old. What do we do about him? You a damn wolf in sheep clothing, and we see you. And the only time you get views, because I looked at your whack ass channel, the only time you get views is when you put Professor James Small name in your damn video. Other than that, if you go to his channel, Dr. Asar, I see 50 views, 20 views. Nobody's watching. Only time he gets views is when he puts somebody names in the title. He got to say Professor James Small or Tariq Nasheed. He got to say somebody's name in order to get views. Dude, you are a coward, and we see you. We see you. George Macon, you are a coward, and we see you. And I know you're going to put my name in the title because that's what these dudes do, Dr. Mahat, because they can't get views and clicks and comments until they call somebody. They got to, you get what I'm saying, brother? They got to start some controversy. They got to say something derogatory because otherwise nobody's watching these dudes. They're lame, and they are clowns, and you are men without honor. See, you're men without honor. I don't even want to call you men. That's why I keep saying these dudes, because the men that I know, they don't carry it like that. They don't get online and critique elders. What they do is actually call the elder and they have a conversation. That's what the men do. That's what men do. And I know because I've been around them. I've been brought up by them. I know how men move, and they don't move like that. When they got a problem or an issue with another man, they don't run to YouTube. They don't run to the internet. They go and they call and they pull up that man. I've actually watched Ankh do it. Ankh, I ain't gonna put your business out there, but I've watched him do it. He don't run to the internet. I got a problem with so-and-so. Call so-and-so up and tab the conversation. You want to put somebody's name, you want to critique and run to the internet. Call the person and have a conversation before you utter your critique on YouTube. And I land my plane with that, brother. You go ahead and say what you need to say.
You ain't put the fire. Hit the fire.
No. Why you gonna say hit the fire?
Hit the fire.
Let me find it. Let me find it. Fire. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. What you got to say?
Okay.
I'm a mute out.
This where we at. This where the rubber meets the road. We're in a situation because we have people that tend to think that United States government will all of a sudden have clear understanding of who we are if we change the damn name. Craziest thing ever. You think a name change going to make people see you more than how they already see you? They already know who you are. They got the records. This is an area, right, that I know Dr. Mahat researched in because she gave me the daggone books. So just because you say FBA, nobody's gonna think that all of a sudden, oh, that's a hell of a lineage. Boy, that name right there really fit them, and we know they're a little bit different than the African Americans. Let me tell you what the FBA is. I'm gonna say it. It's a pseudo operation from the start. How do I know it's a pseudo operation? Because the museum itself is a pseudo museum. It's not a professional curated museum. It does not meet the standards. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. When I hear the word museum, I'm looking for a certain standard. I'm not looking for a whole bunch of pseudos and pseudo history. It does us no good now. To be honest with you, your brother Tariq, he set out to do that, and I commend him for doing that. So don't get it twisted and say, oh, Ankh, you hate. No, I'm saying this man, as far as I know, he's never taken anybody's money. He said, I'm going to open up a museum. I was expecting a museum, but he didn't give us a museum. He gave us a pseudo history museum. But at least he opened it up. So I'm not on that. I'm concerned with what I'm always concerned with is information. So just because you call yourself FBA, right, doesn't mean that this is historically accurate. The scholarship that's backing up the FBA is complete tomfoolery. Now, see, they'll get mad at me for that, Doc. They get mad at me for saying that, one, that's not a curated museum. That's not hate. That's the truth, right? It's a place where healthy Black people can go look at some people that they admire and stuff. And I think that's dope. But it's not a damn museum. And it does not contain our historical history. I'm looking for the level. I'm sitting amongst the level. I would expect no more or less out of them too if they claim themselves to open up a damn museum or they claim themselves to promote STEM. I expect them to do just that. Promote the damn STEM. So I want to say this very, very clear. Just because you hollering, screaming, FBA, we're lineage, nobody's listening to that crap. Nobody with any sense, nobody with a doctorate degree, no real African American who can read and write past their damn hand is thinking that shit's slick. Now, of course, I love the people that call themselves that. But the FBA ain't no more different than the African American. You know why? They come from the same damn place. Where's that place? Mother Africa. How did they get here? On the slave ship. What do they call it? They call it the largest forced migration on planet Earth. That's it. Now, I got to call out Professor James Smalls because he backed the pseudo operation. And sometimes that's why I always tell Doc know how to get off the damn train. Me and Doc know we know how to get off the train. No. Let me get off the stop right here. We know when to get off the train. Dr. Winkler, he know when to get off the train. You got to know when to get off the train. So I'm saying the doors is open right now. Y'all can stop this nonsense. Just because you howl out FBA don't make you no more historically accurate without the scholarship to back it, without the paperwork to back it. Y'all act like we dealing with a nut. You act like we dealing with people of ignorance. No, we dealing with people with high-level education. And people with high-level education, white, black, chocolate, green, or purple, they're gonna look at your claims and they're gonna go through the history books, they're gonna go through the textbooks, they're gonna go through the scientific articles, they're gonna go through the DNA and see if it makes some damn sense. So we can sit here right now and say, look, we understand who African Americans are. Right? We can check the records. They came from certain parts of Africa. Right? We understand their DNA. We got the DNA markers. We got all that. So just because y'all, it's a lineage, y'all sound like a bunch of New Wapians back in the damn day, man. Y'all don't even know it. And I know y'all gonna get mad at me. Know y'all gonna hate, but y'all can't have an intelligent conversation with me. Y'all always running. Mm-hmm. You will have Professor Smalls on your show, but I bet you gonna have me on there. They all be running because I want the smoke. I want you to prove this. Here you go. This is what I want them to verify. See, it all started right here. This is why I blame Professor Smalls. Because Professor Smalls believed that the original people of America was black. He do believe that. He's just wrong. Right? And as one of my elders, right? I can say that. Hey, Doc, you know the statement, right? 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy. Now, I'm saying this in jest, right? What I'm saying is Professor Smalls could actually handle himself in an intellectual. He's an intellectual gunfighter. So I might disagree a little bit with Dr. Meow when she says they're attacking an 80-year-old man. That 80-year-old man, his thoughts are very clear, very exact, and very positive. He can handle an intelligent conversation. And you ain't gonna get up there cussing him out and all that. howling and screaming like I be doing in the back chats and all that. But you could have an intelligent conversation. He could defend his position, right? So what I'm saying is, if he would have cut it off early in the game and say, wait a minute, because I told him 10 years ago that information ain't gonna fly with this next generation. Lo and behold, Tariq promote the wild information that I thought that this generation wouldn't fly with. Lo and behold, the fake Indians popped up. You know what? They're suffering from an identity crisis. See, I can say that. How do I know they're suffering from an identity crisis? Because all the available information says that. When you claim yourself to be a Hebrew Israelite, when you claim yourself to be a FBA, when you claim yourself to be anything but an African American that came from Africa, they had caught up in the largest forced migration, you don't got no heart on that. So here's the statement, Doc, and I'm gonna close it out with a statement. Here you go. This how I know is all foolery. They can't defend this. So that's one thing y'all gonna have to step away from. Yeah, you may play with the word FBA, but I'll be damned if you ain't gonna step away from acting like the first people in the Americas was black people. That's one thing. Share my screen, Doc. That's what we not gonna do. We ain't doing that. Yeah, we ain't gonna do that. Nope.
I'm getting ready to close out, brother.
Look, what you talking about? It's a clip.
Okay, all right. I'm about to say I'm getting ready to close this bad boy.
And there's direct routes from Africa to the Americas. Forget about the Bering Strait and all that walking. You can take boats over here, and there's rivers within the ocean that'll take you directly here. So there's 100% proof. And it's factual that there were black people here.
Right there. The next clip.
I can't think of the name of the book, but this was from. I'm gonna have to post. I'll post a page from the book probably tomorrow on Twitter. This book is from 1894. They were talking about Native American tribes, and these are white people. And they said that the Yamasee tribe, because they kept talking about all these East Coast Native American tribes, Aboriginal tribes, and talking about how damn black they were. They were talking about the Yamasee people, and they talking about how black they were. And they said, these are white people who said that the Yamasee, they came over here from Africa before Columbus. They said the Yamasee came over here from Africa. These are white people saying this in the 1800s. And just so many other documented records saying how black they were. And there's other documented records of explorers and other people talking about those East Coast Indians, those East Coast Native Americans.
And we finish it with this.
Your lineage has nothing to. So how did your lineage get here?
Let me explain again. There was an ethnogenesis between black explorers, black Aboriginal people, and black enslaved. There were 3 waves of black people who were here. There were already the black Aboriginals that were here. Those were some of the Yamasee people who were on the East Coast. These were some of the black Aboriginals that the European explorers said they saw when they got here. Then,
bro, what, bro? Come on, man. Like,
come on, what?
There's no proof that there was black Aboriginals from Native to America before the slave trade.
Okay, go get a book. When I name books, I give references. Get the book by a white man, and Von Woutenau. He wrote a book with a lot of pictures in it.
Now I'm gonna end it right there. Right? I don't have nothing to say about that. That's my issue with this whole thing. That's my issue with Professor Smalls. He didn't check the nonsense at the door, man. You see, if you check that at the door, make them be clear, make them back it up with the academic studies, use STEM to identify and verify who we are, then you wouldn't have a problem with me. Never said you was a crook, never said that. What I'm saying is you're incapable of giving us our history accurately. You have proven this. You've roused up a whole bunch of people that's suffering from identity crisis. You rouse them up like a bunch of hungry wolves. You have miseducated them. That's my issue. My issue is that it's the same vein. It's the same vein of pseudoscientific ideas, misinformation that will turn to disinformation. And then they little disrespectful fucks at the end of the day. They disrespectful with wild information. They stick their chests out as if they could stand up in an academic setting and pull that off. They can't. I just wanted to end with that.
And I want to say this, Brother Ankh, too, because this is how much of cowards. There's a lot of cowards. I'm looking in the chat. There's just a bunch of cowards in the chat and online. Brother Ankh and Dr. Saw, these are grown men, okay, with their own thoughts, their own feelings, their own beliefs, okay? And so the headline will be, they'll be saying, Brother Ankh and Dr. Saw, instead of coming at you, you know, my name going to be tied to it.
Right.
And it's my whole thing is these are grown men. Okay. At the end of the day, Dr. Saw is a grown man and Brother Ankh is a grown man. And if you have anything you need to say to them, I want to say this live because there'll be some folks that'll be calling my phone. Oh, Dr. Saw said this and I wish you would have said, no. Dr. Saw is online. He's on all social media platforms. Is online. He's
subscribe.
He's on
subscribe.
He's on all social media platforms. So if you all feel some type of way about anything that they said, address them. If
please do.
I said address.
Is she breaking up? Brother?
Yeah, she breaking up.
I'm sorry. Can you all? Am I back yet? Am I back?
Yeah,
am I back? I was just saying that if there's something that you all said and they want to address you. If it's something that I said, then address me. You understand what I'm saying? And I know you all are probably saying, why did she say that? Because Ankh, I catch a lot of flack for things you say out your mouth, and I tell the time, if you have an issue with what Ankh says out of his mouth, talk to Ankh. If you have an issue with anything Dr. Saw said, talk to Dr. Saw. And if you have an issue with anything I said tonight, come talk to me. Okay? But please don't come talk to me about anything that Dr. Saw said and anything that Brother Ankh said. And I land my plane with that. Dr. Saw, do you have any closing words for the listening audience?
Say, please, whatever Dr. Mayat said or what Brother Ankh said or anybody said on this platform tonight, come talk to me. You know what I mean? Because I think about almost 100% agree with all of this stuff. You know what I mean? Especially what Brother Ankh said. You know what I mean? So I echo my dear brother. You know what I mean? So, so I will say, come talk to me. Subscribe, Dr. Dennis Assault Winkler on all platforms. You know what I'm saying? Get those numbers up. Bring in the hate. But this is what I want to say. Something the Brother Ankh said though, and I just took a brief note. He said that Baba Small said this as well, Brother Ankh. And I don't want to take it out of context or stretch it more than what it is. But this is what he said, and maybe we can ask the question. He said they are struggling from an identity crisis.
Yeah.
As I was not too long ago.
Facts.
He was saying as he also was struggling from an identity crisis. Yep. And it is definitely an identity crisis, so much so that you don't even know that you're looking for an identity, and all identities are socio-political. There's no identity without some social political underpinnings. If not, you would not have a reason to make a new identity. So what I'm saying is, you're gonna do all the thing. Well, this is not a organization, and all I just looked at it really easily, and I listened to my dear brother Tariq. I'm gonna say brother, you know what I mean? But I hear him say, well, the lineage. See, he says the lineage, and you could just say the organization. In fact, there are organizations, there's loose movements. Look, people don't just because you didn't go downtown and file a 5013C or didn't go downtown and file it. How many people here have had an organization and never had the money to start it? We got all types of businesses. We didn't have businesses at mama's house. We didn't have businesses everywhere. We didn't made up logos and all this and never filed them, trademarked them or anything, and they still were businesses. You understand? So what I'm saying is this. There's a leader, and his name is Tariq. There's a philosophy or an ideology, and it is Nasheedism. And the organization has always been supplanted with the word delineation the delineation. I mean, my delineation. Hold on, is it delineation?
It's delineation. Delineation.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how that fit.
What am I saying? I'm saying he changes the word. What do he call them? He calls them the delineator, something like that. He calls them a lineage. He uses the word lineage instead of my organization. He was like, all right, everybody in the lineage, all the lineage. Just supplant that with organization. All the people that's part of the organization called FBA. I don't care if you filed it downtown. It's a ideology. It has Nasheed as an ideology, and you are acting out his thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So, brother, it's definitely an identity crisis. So that means you have a lot more work to do. Bless you.
All right. And I think I'm getting ready to head out, fellas. I do want to thank everybody. I want to first thank you, Brother Ankh and Dr. Asar, for taking time out to be here. I know, Brother Ankh, you were away. You're like just getting back in town today. And you called me and said, Ankh, we going live in like 3 or 4 minutes. And you're like, all right. So I know you just kind of getting home and getting settled in.
I'm gonna do an after show too, Doc.
Okay, cool. And Dr. Asar, I know that you this is your day with the wife. So I know you normally with the wifey. So I do appreciate you all taking time out.
Come get me.
You know what? Oh, you're married to a tether, Doc. That's what they would call it.
The name of our restaurant is Diaspora and Soul.
That's what they would call it, Doc.
I'm from here, so
right, they'd be mad with you. But anyway, I do appreciate the both of you hopping on. I appreciate Professor James Small for coming on, and I agree with you, Brother Ankh. He really did not have to come on and explain himself. You know, he explained himself out of, like you said, Dr. Asar, his heart, his love for our people. And so he said, well, I'll come on and I'll give some clarity and context to the videos. And he also said that, he never called, Tariq Nasheed an agent. And that's that. And so I hope that, you guys did listen. I know that there were some people who were like anti-Professor James Small, anti-me in the chat, anti-Ankh, anti-Dr. Asar. I really don't care. I mean, it is what it is. But I stand 10 toes down on supporting, my elders like Professor James Small. And I'm with Brother Ankh. I don't have that many elders that I look to, but he is one of them that I do call, for advice and that I look to. And so hands off, Professor James Small. If you feel some type of way about him, I mean, that's your opinion. That's your right. That's your prerogative. But to slander an elder or to throw up the rock and hide your hand and play that type of game with the elder, I don't think that's cool on any level. To misrepresent his words and post clips and got the elder saying something he didn't say and then posting videos with misleading headlines, it's bananas. And I think it's sad when I'm looking at this behavior from supposedly grown tail men, right? Supposedly grown tail men who are doing this stuff online. And and I'll close with this, Brother Ankh. I used to think it was the young folks cutting up online, and it's very disheartening to see people in my age group and older, creating chaos and spreading the misinformation, disinformation, and just being plain fools and clowns online. I think our generation should be setting the example, for the young people. And the folks online that are doing this, aren't doing a good job. So anyway, family, before you get out of here, please thumb up this video, thumb it up. Also share this video. And I know that I'm Dr. Asar, he's streaming. Brother Ankh is streaming. I'm streaming. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Hit the notification bell so that whenever we go live, you will be notified. And also, family, make sure that you join me back here next Sunday and every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace and Black excellence. Brother, what you about to say before I play?
No, man, I'm going to the community Skeptics and I'm gonna do my thing. I'm dropping the link. Anybody want to smoke, the halfway double talk, black people was here first, the foolery, bring your damn textbooks and scientific articles.
Drop the link.
Conversation.
Drop the link in the chat.
Parents, the future is moving fast, and too many of our youth are missing out on the coding, circuitry, and AI skills that will shape tomorrow's opportunities. And when STEM programs ignore Black history, Our youth lose the cultural spark and legacy connection that gives them confidence, creativity, and power. We cannot afford that gap. That's why the UACI Virtual Winter STEM Camp is a must. From December 29th, 2025 through January 2nd, 2026, our youth will code, build microbit circuits, explore real AI tech, all while connecting STEM to the brilliance of their African heritage. Spots will go fast, so go right now to UACISTEMcamp.com and enroll your young geniuses today.